On May 20 this year, Olorato Mongale was shopping with her mother. A young gentleman by the name of John approached her and asked for her numbers. She gave him. Her mother looked at her and she said, "There's no way this man is your type." Olorato laughed it off and she said she's just being polite. 5 days later, Olorato and John planned a date. It is a Sunday afternoon and Olorato leaves her apartment in Sandton for the date. She is captured on CCTV getting inside a white Polo. This would be the last time Olorato Mongale was seen alive. This is the sad story of a 30-year-old young woman who was brutally killed for going on a date. Her name is Olorato Mongale. Welcome to True Crime with me, Julia. On this channel, we look into true crime cases that have happened in South Africa. This case is one of them. Today's case is based on news reports, interviews, social media accounts, and police statements. As it stands, one suspect has been killed in a shootout with the police, and another suspect is still on the run. So let us get into the story.
And I couldn't do nobody pray, and I couldn't do nobody pray. Oh, when I know down by myself, and I couldn't do nobody pray, and I couldn't do nobody pray, and I couldn't do nobody pray, and I couldn't do nobody pray.
First, let's start by getting to know Olorato Mongale. Olorato Mongale was born on 14 December 1994 in Bloemfontein, Free State. She was the only child of Basetsana Mongale. In February this year, Olorato started her Masters of Arts in ICT Policy and Regulation at Wits University. Before that, she graduated with a Bachelor of Journalism from Rhodes University and was a Golden Key Rhodes University new member from 2013, which means that she was recognized among the top 15 achievers globally for her academic excellence in her field. She held a certificate to teach English as a foreign language, which is the CTEFL, and was a communications and engagement specialist with an English program in Daegu, South Korea. Olorato had many accomplishments. She worked at the Sowetan newspaper as a journalist, and she was also a radio presenter at Motheo FM. She also worked as a communications officer in the Free State Department of Economic, Small Business Development, Tourism and Environmental Affairs, and as a digital marketing and social media associate at Oliver Wyman consulting firm. She really was well achieved. In her role as a journalist, she also did an interview while covering the story of the tragic passing of Karabo Mokoena, a gender-based violence victim who was killed by her boyfriend and burnt with petrol and acid and then left there. Olorato Mongale's friends say she was loving. They say she was always there for them and her family. They say she was very ambitious. She enjoyed spending time out and about with her friends and family.
Is that she didn't dwell on failure. I remember that day she was so calm. And even though we didn't make it to the top, she had this persistent determination about her when it comes to goals that she wants to achieve in life. I drew so much inspiration from her. I marvel at her life, that she accomplished so many things. To Mama Poppy, thank you for allowing me to experience Olorato. We had a siblinghood that was flawed, but still so beautiful.
She was also well-traveled.
See this life too.
Just 5 days earlier, Olorato was shopping with her mother in Bloemfontein Mall when a charming stranger approached her. He smiled, complimented her, and introduced himself as John. They struck up an effortless conversation. Later, Her mother would recall laughing about it, telling her that he's not really your type, but Olorato saw no harm in being polite. Over the following days, John stayed in contact. He was attentive, funny, and persistent. Soon, he convinced her to go on a date. She told her friends she was excited. Finally, something light-hearted after weeks of academic pressure. But what Olorato didn't know is that John wasn't who he said he was. On that Sunday afternoon, at 3 p.m., CCTV footage captured Olorato leaving her residence in Ethel, Johannesburg. She wore a black sweater, black skirt, and white shoes. She walked confidently toward a white VW Polo. That was the last time anyone saw her alive. Olorato sent her friends a text earlier on in the day. She shared her location and texted her friend Tato Molongwana, informing her that she was going on a date with a man known only as John. An hour later, Tato realized that Olorato's location was showing that she was at a dodgy place. She then texted Olorato and asked if she was fine. She didn't respond. She then started calling her over and over, but her phone was not answered. Tato says she then started taking screenshots of her phone as it moved. At first, the location showed that she was at an area in Kiu. Tato and another friend then decided to follow the phone's movement. They got to a house, but they were not allowed in at the gate. They then saw police officers passing by and explained to them what was happening. The police officers then entered the house. The friends then realized that the phone location was moving further away from that area. The police escorted them around until they got to another area where the location led. When they got there, they found Olorato's handbag with her phone, wallet, and other belongings. She wasn't there.
It didn't make sense. Where is she? Why is she missing? And every place we went to looked dodgier, and it made me panic. I was very scared. So this is where the pin brought us, to this house.
They then went to the police station to report the matter and report a case of a missing person. By 4:50 p.m., less than 2 hours later, her lifeless body was discovered in Lombardy West. She had been brutally attacked. Her body was violated and left along the roadside.
She had just been thrown here. Her top was open with her breasts out. Her legs were looking that way, and her face was just beaten.
The police then moved quickly to investigate a case of kidnapping and murder.
About the breakthrough until in court. While we are not in court, we cannot call it a breakthrough. So give us time until we bring the whole picture, the people that committed the evil deed and the motive behind that, and we present it before the court. Only then we can be able to say we are claiming victory as a result. So for now, we are still on the hunt, and we are looking for the culprits that were involved. And we have not slept the whole night, and even today we are still hunting.
When police traced the car involved, it led them across provinces. A white VW Polo found days later at a panel beater workshop in Phoenix, Durban. It was covered in blood traces. The man who owned it was arrested immediately. But the story didn't end there. Two names emerged, not John, Fezile Ngubane and Philanyenkosi Makhanya. Both suspects were on the run. Soon, a third suspect, Bongani Mtimkulu, was added to the list. What police discovered next was horrifying. The very same men had been arrested just a month earlier in Boksburg for kidnapping and robbery. They were out on bail, and they had used the same white VW Polo.
Murder case. We have registered commendable progress insofar as this case is concerned. We do officially confirm that we are investigating a syndicate. We do believe that we have broken the back of a syndicate that is targeting women, especially young women out there, where they utilize the same modus operandi. They propose these young women, usually in malls. They propose them, ask to request to take them out on dates. When they agree, that is when they plan to rob them. We do have a case
where we had actually arrested 2 of the 3 suspects that we are looking for. On the 20th of April this year, we arrested Bongani Mtimkulu as well as Pila Makanya on a charge of kidnapping and robbery in the Brakpan area, where a vigilant police officer was conducting his regular patrols, and he came across a suspicious-looking vehicle, a VW Polo, the same VW Polo in question. And when he confronted the suspects, he found that they had just kidnapped a woman and robbed her. We immediately placed these 2 suspects under arrest. On the 22nd of April, they appeared in court on a charge of kidnapping and robbery. And on the 26th of April, they got bail.
As the case unfolded, it became clear this wasn't a random act. It was a part of a syndicate, a group of men targeting young women, especially those who appear successful and independent. Police spokesperson Brigadier Atlande Mati described their method. For Olorato, it was supposed to be a normal date, but for her killers, it was a planned hit, one of many. They used cloned number plates, fake identities, and social media to find their next victims. Days later, one of the main suspects, Pilanyenkosi, was tracked down by police in Amazimtoti. He was killed in a shootout after resisting arrest.
To walk back into my apartment, I wish I could find another place to rent. It's going to take me a long time to forget about what has happened here. And it's the first time ever in my life that I have witnessed something like this.
The deceased told him, the other suspect said he told him that he's going to Zimbabwe. So we don't know about that, and we're still trying to locate him. Even the other suspect that might have been involved in this case, we are told by a Gauteng team that there were 2 suspects that were part of it, but we know the main suspect was this one that we managed to locate here. So while the team in Gauteng is tracing for other suspects, and they shared information with us, and the one that we know on the media that is one of the accomplices, we're also going to be tracing him. But thus far, the 2 that assisted him to escape, that have been driving with him yesterday, picked him up and driving him around and drop him off here and went to go draw money from the bank, and that were assisting him are the ones that we are also going to have in custody as an accomplice on this escape of evading arrest. Not less than over 90 calls that we've received as ACPS as a whole in the country. We know that he's also having a kidnapping case here at Commercial that we were supposed to appear in court for. We know of the court case in Brakpan where we were supposed to appear on Monday on a kidnapping case as well. So we have not less than 28 cell phones, ID cards that are found in his possession, and not less than 20 cell phones that are found in his possession. He's been moving around with a safe. We don't know for what purpose. So we're still trying to trace these IDs, who they belong to, and who are these people that is having their IDs here. And the cell phones, we're still going to download all of them and try to link them up. We'd like to believe there's a lot of victims that are going to be.
His accomplice Bongani is still on the run. The police also arrested Fezile, and it appeared that he was also a victim of identity theft. Pilanyenkosi, who is from the same area as him, allegedly took his ID and was fraudulently committing crimes. The police then released Fezile.
I think it's first of all, I would kindly like to say, as I said before, that it was my carelessness. I was the one who entrusted him with my personal details. So if that kind of linked me to the case, I had to be answerable as I was now, to be questionable. That how do I indulge in such a case? Because now my daughter.
The investigations continue, but the pain remains raw for Olorato's family and friends. At her funeral, friends remembered her as a bright light, full of love and purpose.
And I'm glad we'll be a moment of laughter. Because Olorato re mo tsebang wana re mo hodisitseng. ne le ngwana wa lerato. Ha ne re ngwana o ke Olorato la Modimo. It was because re bone lerato la Modimo ka bophelo ba hae. Mme wa hae had many miscarriages, and Olorato was the one that was saved. She's the only daughter, the only child ya mme wa hae. Somebody decided utswile ntlong ya hae and decided hore mme ole lelapa lele ha le sa deserve ho ba le ngwana. And that's how decisions are made.
Her mother, heartbroken but strong, took to the stage and said this about her daughter.
Ha ke mo shebile a tsamaya mo clipping e a tswa kwa dulang teng. Ke mo shebile ke re, this is not Olorato. But ba mo tlaitseng ba itse, she was extra careful e tla go irritate ibile. Olorato na tlo sa tlo go dumela motho a mo tseye ko gating ko pele kwa le a shebiste koloi kwa, never. Ona tlo atle mo kgorong a ba palama. Ha hetsa ibile ke a bona go batho ba babedi ka mo because o palama ka morago. Re shebile dilo tse tsa segwa ke. So ke dilo tse dintse ke reng di mmakaditse ka Olorato. But I know how she's a fighter. Ha ke mo bona ko government mortuary, I could see ho ngwana ke o lwane. Ha gona mana re skala a ikopela skala mpolate. O lwane o kgaogile le manala. O na lwana. She fought. That is why yeah. Ra go Bramley police station re dutse no go sena di vene go thile a di vene di. Ra dula mo re metse vene ke sa re tlile ka bo 12 o'clock. Siana. Maria ya leeto la go batla ngwana gago. Re tsena mo ditseleng tse ding di kgatang pikoli ya ka e flat ya ba ya ema mo go gong khwatlhule goa re tsena mo go tse ding re tsamaya. So ke bone mo clipping ya kwa dulang teng go rona apere black. So ne ke enda pa ke tshwara di plastic bag tse ding mo matlong gantle. Hantse re mo sheba ke nana maybe ke ene. But ke bua tswana ba gaetsho because Olorato o na tlhola re rona ha re bua ha re popinyana le ka re chefe bele re bazari le heditse. So be ke re mlela ke re o ska batla ya loka khwasa shelter. So ya heta yo ga fitlhela mo re itlhanteng bana ba insista mo maponiseng ba re go kopa re ko the first ko phone la pele e la re ke ntho ya iPhone e pingileng teng so sa lona seo re ko pele batho ba re start somewhere ha re tlha go no ba insista teng ga manete khanti ke mo latlhetsweng ke mo na latlhetswe teng so ke bo 12 le ga to khala latlhetswe ka bo 10 to 5 ya ka ntse ga matla ya then ha re boela ga somebody mo strateng a ba re go etsa go krewa body mole kae so be ke ba bolella ke ene o ile. And I started telling people she's normal because ntho ya gagwe ne setse circulator ya gore wa misa. And I knew gore ha re kreile bag ya gagwe immediately bana ba re kreile bag phone ina le key ya koloi le di card tsa di banka and everything.
Olorato Mongale's story is not just about one woman's tragedy. It's about a country still fighting a war against gender-based violence, a war that continues to claim lives every single week.
Because at the end of the day, nothing will bring back my child. So even if they are caught, it doesn't make a difference to me. All I wanted was my daughter. They deserve to die, just like they did to my daughter.
Between January and March this year alone, 137 women were murdered in South Africa. In Olorato Mongale's case, as police hunt down the remaining suspects, the call grows louder. And for us, let us support the call to fight gender-based violence in our country by continuing to speak about these cases, sharing them, and making sure that the names of the victims of gender-based violence are never forgotten. In our efforts to join the country duty, we will be sharing these stories every day. And thank you so much for watching. Please stay safe. I will see you on the next one.
And I couldn't do nobody pray.